Hi everyone, welcome to channel Qtomation. In today's session we will see about difference between soft assertions and hard assertions. So in previous session we have seen about different type of assertions which we can use. Assertion is a validation point which is added in our test script. In Playwright, assertions are used to verify expected behavior of your application during testing. And there are mainly two types of assertions based on how they handle failures, that is soft assertions and hard assertions. Hard assertions immediately fail the test and stop its execution when assertion condition is not met. So in previous examples, when we have seen, it's basically example of hard assertion. So if you write for statement and let's say you have added multiple assertion to it, if on step 3 any assertion fails, by default it's a hard assertion. So fourth step will not be executed. The test case will immediately stop at the point where assertion failed and the next steps will not be executed at all. So that is the behavior of hard assertion. It will immediately stop the execution at the point of failure. It is a default behavior in most of the test frameworks, including Playwright. And it is useful when the failure of condition makes further checks irrelevant or unreliable. And it is often used for critical validations. So I will show you one simple example of hard assertions. So let's go to Playwright. In this, let's create a new file in test folder. I'm naming it as hard assertion demo dot spec.js. I'm just copying the code from our last session in which we have seen assertion demo. I'm just copying it. Whatever assertions we have seen so far, they are all hard assertions. So I will just paste it here. Let's remove the content which we don't need. So this is our syntax. This is a test block. I'm just naming it as hard assertions demo. What we are going to do, let's take a simple example. What I will do, I will just open google.com. Then we can add some assertions. For example, await, expect, page dot to have title, let's say Google. So let's open google.com. So I'm just going to open this web page. Then I have added first assertion to verify the title of the web page. If I want to see the title, you can simply check Ctrl U to check the page source and you can directly search for title, or you can simply inspect element and in HTML code let's search for title. So title is simply Google. So what I am doing, I am just adding one assertion here, page dot to have title Google. So it will obviously pass the assertion. This is the first assertion. Then let's say one more assertion I am adding. Let's say page to have URL. I'm just expecting after opening this web page, the URL should be this one. So I'm just pasting it here. So this is the second assertion which we have added. And the last assertion, one more assertion I want to add is, let's say await. I'm defining one constant logo equals to await page dot locator. I want to locate the presence of Google logo here. So let's inspect this element. If you see, img is a tag name. We can simply use alt attribute Google. So we can simply write one XPath as well. @alt attribute equals to Google. So it is highlighting the single element. So I want to just verify whether this element, that is the logo of Google, is present or not. So I'm just putting that locator here. So let's put that locator here, and we are storing that locator in logo element. And then we can simply check by using expect function that our logo to be visible or not. If it is visible, then test case will pass, else it will fail. So currently whatever assertions we have added, all these are hard assertions. By default, whatever assertions we add, they are hard assertions. So this is the first assertion, second assertion, and third assertion. In hard assertion, if any one of the assertion fails, so if this assertion fails, the test will automatically fail at that point only. It will not execute the further test cases. It will not execute the further steps, not the test cases, but the further steps. It will stop the execution at this point only if this assertion fails. It will not execute next steps or even next assertions also. That is a hard assertion. So now let me execute this file. At first execution it will pass because we have added all the correct assertions here. Let me use await page dot close as well. So now let's execute this file. What is the file name? Hard underscore assertion underscore demo.js. So let's execute this file. So we are executing the file. We are executing this test case in which we have added 1, 2, 3 assertion total. So if all the hard assertions passed, then test case will get passed. Now it is executing the test case. It is opening the browser. It will check for the URL. It will also check for the title, and everything is passed. If you see, everything is passed because all 3 assertions got correctly verified. All these conditions are met. That's why it is passed. Now what I will do, in this second assertion where we are checking to have this URL, I will add some incorrect value. Let's say some random value I am adding. So now when this test case will execute, this assertion will pass, but this assertion will fail. And then let's see what is the behavior in this case. Let's execute the file one more time. So I am executing the same file again, but we have added some incorrect value in expected to have URL. So now second assertion should fail this time. And as it's a hard assertions, it will fail the entire test case. It will stop the execution at the point where assertions get failed. Wherever the assertion get failed first time, it will stop the execution at that point only. That is the hard assertion behavior. So it is opening the page. But now if you see, test cases is failed. Test cases is failed and it is opening the report. And in the report, it is clearly showing you expected string, this one, which we have provided, but actual string which is received for URL is this one. This is a mismatch. That's why this assertion got failed. And if you see test steps here, this assertion got passed. To have title also passed, but to have URL it failed, and because of this it did not check for next assertion, that is for logo. It did not even check for that assertion. So that is the behavior of hard assertion. At the point of failure it will stop the execution. Now let's understand what is soft assertion. So far we have seen the example of hard assertion. Now in soft assertions, it will allow the test to continue executing even if that assertion fails. And soft assertion is useful when you want to check multiple conditions independently without stopping the test after the first failure. Failed soft assertions do not terminate the test execution, but they will mark the test as failed. So how to add soft assertion? So in the same script, what I will do, I will add soft assertion. So syntax for adding soft assertion is, after this expect, we just have to add one keyword, that is soft. So once you add this soft keyword after expect, it will basically consider this assertion as soft assertion. So if this assertion fails, it will not stop the test execution. It will further check for next steps as well. It will check for next assertions also. It will not stop the test execution even after this assertion fail. But overall test case will fail because assertion is failed. Overall test case will mark it as a failure. But further steps and further assertions will be executed. Now let's save this file and let's execute this test case. So I have added one soft assertion in my test case. So now let's execute the test case. So it will launch the browser. So we have to add expect.soft. So that will be considered as a soft assertion. And it will not execute, it will not stop the execution of our test even after the failure of that assertion. It will continue and it will execute the next steps as well. And at the end, it will show you which assertion got failed. But test case will eventually get marked as a fail only. So now if you see test case got failed. And now let's see the report. Again, the same assertion is got failed. But if you see test steps now, if you see the test step, first assertion passed, second assertion also passed. This is the assertion which failed. If you see, this is the assertion which got failed, but even after failure, next assertion got verified. This logo is verified. The execution went ahead of the failed assertion. It has marked that soft assertion as failed, but it did not stop the test execution. It went on executing the next steps as well. It executed this logo visibility assertion. It also executed page.close, right? So this is the difference between soft assertion and hard assertion. So hard assertion will immediately stop the test execution. It will not go to next steps. But in soft assertion, it will mark the test case as failed, but it will not stop the test execution. It will execute all the next steps as well. So that is the main difference between soft assertions and hard assertions. So that is the main difference between soft assertions and hard assertion. So what is the syntax for soft assertion? After expect, we have to use .soft. So that assertion will be considered as soft assertion. So even if that assertion fails, it will continue the test execution for next steps. The next steps will be executed, but overall test case will be marked as failed test case only. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you like and you have understood the difference between soft assertion and hard assertions. So soft assertions we have to use whenever we want to check multiple conditions independently without stopping the test after the first failure. Failed soft assertion do not terminate the test execution, but they will mark the test as failed. Whereas in hard assertion, test case will immediately marked as a failed and the execution will also stop at the point of failure. So that is the difference between soft and hard assertions. Thank you again.